Somebody prescribed you Percocets?
Yes, for a broken
at
back.
14?
Yes, for a broken back. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pej. I am here today with my friend Anthony. We're going to talk about addiction in various forms. First off, Anthony, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So first and foremost, you grew up in New Jersey, or what was it?
Yeah, I grew up in southern New Jersey in a small area called Cumberland County. The city was Bridgeton, very close to Philadelphia.
Was it more like a city, or was it more like
where I lived at first, more like a city, and then I kind of moved to kind of a country area, just poor country area.
Okay, and how many kids were in your household?
I had 2 older brothers, and a lot of the family members would come around, like nieces, nephews, stuff like that.
Normal childhood?
Not so much.
Things happen?
A lot of things happen, yes.
Trauma?
Trauma, yes.
Things like that. When did you first start getting into drugs? When were you first turned on to any kind of substance?
I was 11 years old.
11 years old. And what kind of substances were you turned on to?
I smoked weed and I drank.
Okay. And at 11 you were drinking?
Yes.
That young. And then what later on down the line, what did you get into later in life?
Well, within the next 3 years, I was already on the heroin, by 14.
At 14 you were turned on to heroin.
Yes.
How did you discover heroin?
So I had fractured a vertebrae playing football, and I kept taking all my Percocets. My uncle was a heroin addict. I was sick, didn't know what it was.
So somebody prescribed you Percocets?
Yes, for a broken back.
At 14?
Yes, for a broken back.
That young?
That young, yes.
Okay, and then you were taking Percocets and?
And then I kept taking them. I got withdrawals, and my uncle, who was a heroin addict, who I hung out with all the time, slid me a bag of dope that they have on the East Coast. If you know what it is, it's a ticket, and said this is going to make you feel better.
Okay, so did you smoke it, shoot it?
We snorted it, and very quickly after I started shooting with him, around like 14, 15, right around 15 years old.
And the first time that you ever were going to shoot heroin, like to put a needle in your arm, was there any fear that came within?
No, with my childhood, I was kind of like
Fearless?
Fearless. Not fearless, but like kind of like a little dead inside. So it really didn't matter to me.
Okay. And how long did that addiction carry on for?
I'm 25 now. I have 3 months sober, so over a decade. Or about a decade, yeah.
Of heroin use?
Heroin, fentanyl. I turned to fentanyl around 2016.
Okay.
That's
what I want to talk about. So it was heroin for a while, obviously, and then I'd say like we started seeing fentanyl in 2010 a lot more.
Yes, it was there.
In medical grade form, as far as lollipops and patches and things like that, but it became more popularized like probably in the mid 2015, 2016 era, right around the time that you said. So when you first were turned on to fentanyl, where'd that come from? Who had it?
So in Philadelphia, they always had a little bit of fentanyl in it, but literally right before I got sober the first time at 19 or 18, I did some fentanyl, and it rang my ears. I fell out. Didn't die, but I fell out immediately, and it was like, whoa. That's not what I'm used to. It scared the shit out of me. I got sober.
Did it taste different?
Not so much taste different, but it was a complete feeling was different. It was more of a rush, not as long. It was a little scary.
And when you did it, did you experience overdoses?
I experienced one overdose in my time.
Were you shooting this stuff?
Yes, I was shooting it.
Not smoking it or not snorting it?
Just shooting it.
Shooting it. And then you overdosed, and what went down?
So I had 16 or so months sober in LA at 19, and I went out one day. I got something that so it wasn't really even full fentanyl yet when I got sober. I went and got something, relapsed, and by the end of the day, I did almost like a bit of a half gram. Ended up overdosing. Luckily, a friend of mine, he was sober, picked me up, and after 7 shots of Narcan, which is unheard of at that time, they usually don't do that, I came back in the back of an ambulance.
You were 18 during that time?
I was 19 at this point.
19. Okay. And then eventually you attempted to quit?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm happy that we got to talk about that. If you would like to see the other part of this video, we will carry on into other things that Anthony got into. You can check out our video on YouTube.